It was good, guys. I'm back now. Looking at SI. I was earlier when I originally got on, maybe like 30 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago. Um, I saw this area, point of interest. Before this, I think it was only this that had happened so far. Like that, yeah. So I saw this part, this little thing. I was gonna take a trade right once I see it get inside this little base area. Um, Instead, I wasn't able to take a trade, so I had to just. What the fuck did I have this on? I had to just wait. I couldn't trade. I had something to do. So yeah. Now I'm just kind of waiting for price to hit back in this area for me to get back into longs, or for me to get into longs actually. So yeah. Now we just play the waiting game. I'm still thinking of shorts here too. Originally, I just wanted to take a trade from this area. Here, let me show you just so I can show you guys what I mean. So I think it was right there when I originally saw it. Stop loss right there, and then just take it right there. It would have hit long time ago, within 5 minutes. So like within 10 minutes, this would have hit. But oh well. Um, let's see. So yeah, I'm just waiting. Probably waiting until it goes into this little box again, or and or to see if it would stay above this area. So there's a little base in between this, and if this can retest and break out of this, then I'm looking for longs there. Let me look at gold too. I haven't looked at that one. Gold, same thing, nearly same setup. Broke out of this area already. Now it should be retesting. I forgot I have that thing. So yeah, it should be retesting. I guess we'll see. I am gonna set up an alert though. Where is this? Where's it? Okay. Yeah, because on Top Step, I still can't make alerts. So I gotta do it on another platform. So yeah, now sit back, relax. I get to eat. And then I get to trade. I'm looking into get into silver, but let me check out everything else too. No setups here yet, at least. Maybe a setup once it reaches this again, all time high. Um, I'm sure it'll sell once it gets there, but I don't know. There's a lot of strength today in the market. So, well, I guess we'll see. Same thing with ES, not all time high, but I don't know if it's a short there. I don't really see much of a short. YM, I think YM had a decent setup. Yeah, YM still has a really good setup. If anything were to get traded, it's actually YM. YM is super nice. Next, RTY. RTY already broke out of its base. Next thing is just a retest on this 2500, 2501 level. YM, it's still in that little base, but for me to get in, I'd want to see a retest in this area. If it goes up and runs, then it runs. Um, but the way I trade, I usually like to get into retest to confirm the direction. Um, Back to SI. Yeah. So like I said, I might react to that. If it does, oh well. Most likely is there because this is that retest level. Like we said, little base area here. And and you see it broke out, retraced, retested, and now it's probably gonna shoot up again from there. That's probably would have been a very good trade still. But I wanted to come back down into my little purple box all the way at the bottom. The only thing is that if it does go back down there, there's a higher chance that it's going to sell. And even then, I can still go in for longs right now because right here, Building up pressure. This area. Let me change the color. I don't like that color. And the thickness. It's too thick. So yeah. The only thing is that I don't like buying the top. I don't like buying supply areas, especially for longs. Um, I usually like getting in at the bottom because there's a lot higher risk. So for this, I would need to wait for a retest. This would be a very good, very good, very great trade if it comes back. So well, if you guys are wondering, I'm eating spaghetti. I don't know if you guys can see them. Let me look right here, spaghetti. I'm telling you guys right now, this is gas. It is good. Grandma made it. Yeah, can't say no to grandma's cooking. Mm. The SI, just like I always said it, it's gonna break out. Breaking out right now. And actually, let me look at YM. YM is retracing. So we see it broke. Little rejection candle, tiny very tiny one. So we're gonna wait on more confirmation with that one. Only reason why I want to wait and I don't take the trade now is because all the other futures already broke out in their similar little supply area. Um, and since they've already been running up, and somehow, some reason, YM isn't going up. So I'd want to wait for confirmation to trade YM because why is YM lagging behind when all the other futures have gone up? Oh, I guess not yet. I thought ES already broke out, but NQ did break out. So there is a little bit, yeah, I would say right here, it's starting to break out. I guess RTY is leading the way. Yep, RTY. So I would say retest this level right here. Good retest level. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I guess that can count as a little base action right there. So everything is kind of nice. I kind of like everything, but I want to get into SI, silver. Silver's nice. Or YM. Either silver or YM, one of those. I liked all of them. Or I can just say fuck it, get in now. Pray for the best, but I want to wait. Look at YM. I wish I can split the chart. I don't like typing in the bunch of tickers all at once. I hate it. It's so annoying. But oh well. I just gotta deal with it. Okay. ES. Okay. On my other chart, I see ES already broke out. Why does it look so different? Oh, I'm on the 15 on that one. Okay. Oh, so we can see it already retested. Now it's probably gonna run up. Go for the 5, yeah. Retested that area. It's gonna test that wick. See what it wants to do. Take a look at NQ. Same thing for NQ. YM. YM's doing it now. I could say, you know, I really do think I can get in here on YM, and I just might do that. Like I said, I really like the setup on YM. Only thing is that this is a very risky move because it hasn't broken out yet. And not only has it broken out, there's no confirmation yet. Like I said, I like to get into the retest to confirm my entry. But sometimes I just don't want to wait. I'm too impatient for this. I'm impatient, but I'm not impatient. So yeah. Also, in case you guys are wondering why the I didn't post earlier, was because I didn't trade this morning. Um, I didn't really see any setups that I liked. So I like the setups coming into aftermarket. So that's why I'm recording now. That's why I'm recording during aftermarket instead of pre-market. So let's see what happens. Okay, so YM, open up the supply. So this might run up, but I still want to wait for that retest. If there's no retest, I don't want it. SI. Let's take a look at that one. SI. So we see it's basing out. I could get in at that little white area, at that white line. Let me set my. Okay. Okay, let's see. It's almost there. Let me just widen this. Almost there. Let me set an alert because I really don't like. I don't like staring at the chart, waiting for something to happen. It creates bad habits. Okay, got my alerts for silver. Back to YM. See what's going on there. Auto. Okay. I don't know if you guys heard that, but I think one of my neighbors just screamed. It's pretty loud. If I can hear that, I'm pretty sure my neighbors can hear me. I'm pretty loud. Still nothing that I like. SI. So currently in a doji formation. That's probably gonna here. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. That way I'm not gatekeeping. A little doji action on SI. Only thing is that I'd want to see a doji down here. If I were to see a doji down there, I'd be like, oh, okay, that's my confirmation for entry. But it's up there, so I wouldn't take it yet, at least. And even too, like I said, it's still at a perfect buy level, but just for me, like I said, I like to get in at the bottom at the retest for confirmation because it's with futures, it's very hard. If you get an entry at the wrong place, you could be down a lot. Like for example, if I were to got in right here, oh no, sorry. If I were to get in right here, let's just say, oh my gosh, it's gonna go up from here. Let me get in. Oh my gosh, let me get in. I get in. It comes down here. This little bar is probably gonna set me back probably like $300, 400, which isn't a lot, but it just creates bad habits again. Like I said, there's things that I dealt with in the past and that I've gotten over by doing what I do now. So, like I said, that's why I always like to wait for retest. That way, that can be my entry. Because once I know price breaks below my retest level, that's what's going to tell me, okay, that's probably going to sell, or that's probably going to be long, whatever way I'm trading. So that's why I like to wait. Because imagine that. Let me give you an example. Imagine that. Imagine your entry being up here, and then the retest is all the way down here. That's gonna set you back probably like $1,000 or less. Who knows? But for this example, let's just say 500 bucks. So that's probably gonna set me 500 bucks. Versus if I enter a trade down here, my stop loss is just right there, right below. Maybe 300 bucks, maybe 200. I don't know. I don't know how these contracts work sometimes, or not how they work, but I don't know how many ticks that is, or pips, whatever. I just trade the direction. I don't really care for the right terminology for it. Okay. So one thing I noticed on this chart is that there's still sellers in this area. So what I mean by that is look at this candle right here. I hate I hate that it's like magneting to that spot. So yeah, we got a little pretty decent wick right there. Doesn't look like a rejection yet, but that's, I would say, a sign. Um, and then we also have a little rejection wick right there as well. Candle's still not red, so it's still valid for longs, but that's making me worry a little bit. Not worry, but sorry. It's just I'm hungry. I haven't really ate today. I'm starving, so so yeah, I see those two wicks, and those are kind of telling me that okay, there's still sellers in this area, and it doesn't seem like we can really close above that area and retest. I think YM is pushing up now. Yeah, like I said, YM was probably gonna push up, but we want to wait for that retest. So I'm gonna right there at the bottom of the candle, of that candle body. So right here, I set an alert. That way when I retest that, I can get in on that. Okay, let me look at the smaller time frames. See what they tell me. All right, too many gaps for me. I don't like that. Still too many gaps. I don't like that either. Uh, too much. Nothing worth reading. I guess the 5 minute is. Let me check the 15. 15 is good. Candle basically just opened above that supply. Oh, we just still gotta wait. So yeah. I would say once I go in for my long, my ideal target would be this area right here. That'll be my ideal. But seeing that there's so much strength, this is probably just gonna build up until this point, or until here where the move started. From news this morning, I believe this is from news. Yeah, from news. Uh, so yeah, it's probably just gonna build up until that area. Maybe sell off again. Maybe push back up. Who knows? Um, so yeah, I would say that's my TP. You know, I could have been done earlier if I took this one earlier, but I had some things to do, so not too worried about it. There's a lot of opportunities in this market, so it doesn't matter to me. It's also so hot in here. I want to turn on the AC, but it gets too loud, and then I don't even think you guys will be able to hear me. You guys will just hear a buzzing noise all the way in the back. Okay. ES and NQ out of rejection. At least it looks like on the 15. Let's see what it looks like on here. Okay, yeah. So there's a rejection right here. Like I said, NQ and ES are probably gonna reject from that if you rewind to the beginning of the video. Only thing is that I said like around this area, but it's really not that far off. Now we just wait for SI. Okay, SI. Okay, looks like YM also did the same thing as well. So yeah, right there. So I guess we can just mark down that new level. It's also, I would say, 50% of this candle. Close to 50%, but it's not always going to be perfect. So yeah, it's about 50%. So it's probably going to sell, maybe go down a lot more. But who knows where it's really going to go. It has to come back down for a retest. Only thing is that we'd want it to stay above this. Once it breaks below that, it's probably going to hit this area right here. If not, then it's probably going to go way down, maybe around this area, or just completely sell off from here. But yeah, that's basically what I'm guessing. I mean, look, it's ran up so much without a pullback. Like it ran up from 802 to 878, which isn't a lot, but for pre-market, that's a decent move with no pullback. And it looks like it's probably going to start pulling back now. Now would be a good entry for shorts. But I'd still be cautious with it because it's still not. Actually, no. Yeah, it's a good area for shorts. I think silver is now in my area too. Yeah, like I said, um, it's probably gonna be a nice short from here. I could have taken it. I saw it come in from a mile away, but oh well, too risky. My guess is that it's probably just gonna touch this area next or stay here. If it closes there, I think I might get in. Um, so yeah, I might get in on this if it closes above this white line. If it doesn't close above that white line, I don't think I'm gonna get in. Um, just it is a very risky trade because we're at resistance or supply, and this can really pull back a lot further down. Well, but I guess we'll see how it plays out. Like I said, it's built up a lot of pressure on this area. Just to give you guys a more in-depth view, let me change the color. That way you guys can see. I don't like I don't like this many lines. This is way too much for me. I really never trade with any lines, to be honest. It's just too much. I usually like having a naked chart. That's how I like it. Um, so yeah. So yeah, let's just see if it can close above that white line, my little retest line. If not, my guess is probably oh my gosh, my guess is probably gonna be that it's gonna keep going down. But I guess we'll see. but we got a nice rejection from that area on all futures. So this tells me that this is a very high point of interest for it to sell off. Let's look at gold. I haven't looked at that. Okay, same thing. It's going down. So I probably won't really be looking for longs anymore. I'd probably want to look for shorts, but we'll see. I want to give it a little more time because it looked like it really wanted to trend up. Another thing too, it can retest this as well. Another point of interest, or right here too. This is a good spot. But mainly, I mean, a couple tick difference, so it doesn't matter. I guess we'll see where it wants to go. Might keep selling. Mm. Pretty boring day today. Not a lot going on. Oh my gosh. Oh shit. Oh, I'm all done with my spaghetti. Um, Still no signs of strength of buying strength. Also too, if price were to get into this area, I wouldn't get in as soon as it touches it. I'd want to see at least some like a doji or a base, some type of action like that, like this. Let me try to zoom in. Like these two, exactly like that. Um, okay, this is probably gonna stay up. If we just adjust this, it'll line up. You just see that everything lines up perfectly. Boom, boom, boom. So this can be my retest. This can be my confirmation for a retest. Um, we can get in this now. Let's say stop loss right here at that 500 mark. It's still very risky, but I would want to wait. But it does, this is a very good area still to buy in. Let me just take a look at the other futures. YM, let's see. Okay. Losing its buying pressure. And Q, same thing, a lot of rejection candles. Yes. Same thing. So I don't think that's enough confirmation for me yet. Still, I would say still in seller's territory. But if that doji can be there, if it can stay as a doji, then I would say I would get in. Other than that, I'm not gonna get in just based off one little thing of this whole sentiment. Um, yeah, like I said, it's probably most likely gonna be a short. But yeah, I finished my plate and I don't like leaving my food in my room. So I'm gonna go put this in the sink real quick. So I'll be right back. Read the chart for me. I'll be back. I'm back. Yeah, my room smells like spaghetti now. Alright. Let's see. Okay, so we see it broke below the trend line. It's probably gonna be a short now. Um, I would say this is good for a short. Let me look at NQ. This is good. We're basically at the highs. Uh, big rejection bar. Let's get in. I would say stop loss right there. TP right there. I know I've been looking at gold and silver. But yeah, I think silver actually went up a little bit. Oh yeah, would you look at that? So this can be longs. Like I said, once it touched this little box, that's my confirmation for longs. But let's look at NQ. We're trading NQ right now, so let's take a look at NQ. The reason why I said NQ is because it's at the very top. We look at YM, we look at YM and all that. It's all the way at the bottom. Or not all the way at the bottom, but the move somewhat happened. I saw NQ still at that top area. So let's see. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So yeah, we just see YM. It was already like down here a little bit. NQ, NQ, NQ. Basically, the move hasn't happened yet. So I guess we'll see where it takes us from here. We lose this, it's gonna be about okay, not bad. $300 loss. SI. Oh, like I said, that was a perfect buy level for SI. It's still it still went on my short area. But we want to be patient with this. This might push NQ back up. I might take a loss on this. But it's okay. I don't really mind. It was worth the setup. If I do lose, it was definitely worth it. Like I said, the reason why it's at the high, big rejection candle, and yeah, I guess this could probably just be a fake out. But yeah, basically it. Not much to it. Water, thirsty. Okay, so probably just retested my little area. Yeah, retest. So this is probably just gonna stop me out. Take a look at SI. SI is good. So as long as it just doesn't break above this that area and close. If it were to close above, that's where I'd get out. Other than that, I'm not getting in. But yeah, that's the dangers of this market. The only thing is that also too, I wouldn't want the candle to close like this. So we got a pretty good amount of buying pressure. I wouldn't want it to close like that if I want to stay in longs. I'd want it to maybe go below my entry point. If it closes up here, that's most likely just gonna run up. Let's look at gold. How's that doing? Okay, that might form. That's like a little bit of doji action. Same thing SI. Um, so yeah. We can also get in on silver too. Um, Silver's still a very good one. I consider this a doji. This can be good. This can be a good setup, or this is a good setup. But I don't really like trading two ways. If I'm just gonna trade one way, I want to stick to it. So yeah. So I'm probably just gonna stick with this one. If I lose this, then I lose this. Not a big deal. So yeah. Yeah, I did call it from earlier as well too. Once silver gets to that point in my little purple box, that's when I'd go for longs. Whoops, dropped my phone. But it is what it is. Only thing that matters to me is that this trade was valid. We had buying pressure. We had a nice base all the way up in supply. It could have gone either of one or two ways. What really sold me was this rejection candle, and then this rejection candle to follow with it. But like I said, this is why I say I usually like to buy the retest and never the top or the bottom. And this is my example why. I basically got in right here, so now my stop loss is all the way right here. Instead, if I were to buy in right here, my stop loss would be right here. Um, but there's still a lot of things. Oh my gosh, what the hell is going on with me? There's still a lot of things that's pointing, bearish, at least in my view. So I'm just kind of waiting on that. I might base out here. Basically, what it's been doing. I might base out. But yeah, I guess we just gotta play the waiting game. Let's take a look at the 15. Yeah, doji candle. So basically, if this can stay as a doji, this is gonna give me build up more confidence for me on taking the short. Just simply because this tells me that the doji, that this is run out of buying pressure, in which if you can look now, looks like it can stay like this. But we do have 10 minutes or 9 minutes now until the 15-minute closes. So what do I do? So yeah. And good thing we didn't take that silver. Silver is, I believe, going back down. Oops. Gosh, am I typing it wrong or so, am I putting the am I stupid? Oh, okay, it's SI. I was putting SL. I'm stupid. Okay. So yeah, not much is going on with silver or anything else. Let's take a look at everything else. So yeah, just like how I said, all my trades they're based off of a bunch of things. Um, they're based off of synchronization is what I mainly look for. That's what helps me read price action a lot better. That's my strategy. That's the way I do it. That's the way I trade. Okay, it's NQ. Let's take a look at NQ again. So I want to get in on another contract, but we're already in one. Um, if anything, I should have gone in right there, but this is still a good buying area. So I might take this. I might add another contract to it. This is a very good area, to get in at. Well, like I said, my ideal one would probably be right there. That's my ideal buy-in area, or average in area. YM silver pushing back up. So like I said, this is gonna be one of those patient trades. It's the one that's gonna take a little while. We see NQ pushing down. Doesn't mean anything. We still got a lot of time left. My TP, I mean, the ideal one is down here. Is it gonna reach that? Oh, it's gone. Is it gonna reach that? Probably not. That's not realistic. Realistically, right there. We're not gonna full port everything. If it goes all the way down there eventually, cool. That's not the way I trade. With futures, you want to be in and out. Um, you just want to get in and just take profit as soon as you can. That's why yesterday, as soon as I made 200, gone, done. Um, just like that. I should have put in more if I wanted to make more. But that's just the way I trade. That's just me personally. Um, just the way I learned is that I don't like to stay in a trade longer than 10 minutes, but NQ might be the one to do that. Just and simply why I don't like doing that is just because I don't like. It's not that I don't like waiting. It's just that I've seen the market flip instantly. Maybe I marked a level wrong, or I just didn't see enough information. Um, but it's usually just because the main reason is that the futures runs crazy. If this was an options trade, I'd stay in this. I'd stay in as long as my contract is there for. SI silver is getting to a good short level as well. Once it reaches that level, I really don't think it's gonna go past this. Um, but anyways, so yeah, if this is the options isn't as crazy as futures. It's definitely way easier than futures. Um, and not only that is that they react to levels a lot better, and yeah, it's just a lot more simple, and it doesn't run as crazy as futures. And for futures, they run wild. Like I said, I've seen it flip on me like crazy before. And like look at this. Like this was due to news. This is one big news candle. That is a wild candle. Um Not only that, look at Q, basically the same thing, but right here. But they recover faster. But that was due to news. Let's see. But yeah, basically the whole summary was that they run crazy. Um, so yeah, options easier, futures harder. You want to get in and out in futures. So yeah, basically it. Um, so we see the futures look like they already retested their area. Just like where I said YM. So this couldn't flip me to going longs, just like how I said it, above this white line. If price can stay above that white line, that's gonna be longs for me. Let's take a look at everything else. Everything else, still not much confirmation. It's still kind of getting major resistance, or not major, but decent resistance from that area. Let's look at RTY. I feel like we haven't really looked at that one. Yeah, same thing. Only thing is that okay. Another thing that I want to say as well is I don't look at all the futures. I mean, I do. I look at all the futures for synchronization. That's what's going to give you more strength of the direction it wants to go. But the ones that are similar to each other, pair it up to make it easier. So when you're trading NQ, you want to take a look at ES. You still want to take a look at everything, but the way I do it is ES and NQ are basically brothers, I would say. RTY and YM are sisters. Just put it like that, just to be easier. But I look at all of them. Like I said, if you take a look at ES, it looks exactly the same as NQ. You look at RTY, it looks the same, but it doesn't move the same. Same thing for YM. Everything looks the same. All the futures look exactly the same. The only difference is they move differently. It doesn't make too much sense. I know it doesn't. It's a little hard to explain. On the course on my Discord, I explain it a lot better than how I'm explaining it now. Um, but they move together, but not together. Just like I said, they. How can I put this? How can I put this? So, can I? I wonder if I can give an example. Let's see if I can go back on a chart. Okay, here's like another thing. I don't know another thing, but this can be an example. Um, so NQ and ES are at all-time highs, or were at all-time highs at one point. YM wasn't there yet at a time. RTY was nowhere near, simply because RTY, or each future is different. Like for example, RTY is for small cap companies, which get affected more by news. Not only that, they don't the price is a lot lower. So if you take a look at NQ, go on your phone. I don't want to pull up four different charts. Go on your phone and look at NQ. NQ's price 26,000. Look at YM. YM's price 48,000. Yes, almost 7,000. 6,900 to be exact. And RTY 2,000. That's because they're all different. They all hold. For some of you that don't know, I believe it or not, I've came across people that don't know what the S&P 500 is, which is crazy. if you're older than 18, if you're younger than 18, you don't need to know that stuff. If you're older than 18, or older than 21, I would say, and you don't know what companies are in the S&P 500, you I don't even know what to say. Did you graduate high school? It's 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 pretty simple. It's like the S&P 500. It says it in its name. 500 companies. And like I said, it's I know it might seem like a stupid question, but I've literally met people. I've talked with people that don't know what the S&P 500 is, and I'm not here to scold you on that. You know, um, S&P 500 is made out of 500, the top 500 companies. That's why it's called the S&P 500. So anyways, enough of that. Um, Everything in those futures are different. Some of them have the same companies like NQ and ES, but they don't hold the same things. I think ES, I don't know from the top of my head, but I think NQ and ES do hold the similar amount of companies and the similar sectors. Um, but YM and RTY are very different from NQ and ES, which is why I say they move the same, but they're not exactly the same. And for RTY, that one is, I believe, made up more of financial companies. So one thing you guys can learn is learn each sectors of the market, and that's what's gonna help you out more. Um, so yeah, at least basically on how things get affected. Like for example, when rates get cut, like today, that opens up more value for banks just because the rates are easier to get since they'll be a lot cheaper, and which means more investors, more people to take out loans, easier for them to take out loans. Um, and that affects more of the financial companies. I believe also the technology companies it does a lot for as well, but mainly the financials because I mean they're banks, you know. And if you guys don't know what sectors are of the market, just search up, you know, um, I believe it's 11 or 12 sectors. Just search up sectors in the market, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. And then just kind of look at the holdings for each futures, and yeah, it'll tell you everything. So that's just the way I learned. I learned more in depth. So I've been doing this for about 5 to 6 years. I believe I'm moving on to my sixth year. Um, but yeah, um, with that, in the beginning, I learned just like the very basic stuff: trend lines, higher highs, lower lows. So just stuff like that is just the stuff that I've been learning. And then eventually I still wasn't successful. Or not only that, it's like I still didn't grasp the idea of trading. Okay, this is where I want to get out. This is too crazy. Okay, right there. So we're up 340. Um, Let me tell you why I got out of this. So could I could have let it ride? Absolutely. But this candle is when it goes crazy like this is irregular price action. At least from right now. Like look at all this. Um Look at all this price action. We see little movements, small, tiny, tiny, tiny. And then eventually we get to this one. And in the last seconds, the last 10, 15 seconds of this is that it just shot down. And then that's when I was like, okay, this is most likely a news scandal. What's the news? No idea. I don't care. Was this supposed to be news right now? I don't think so. Usually those happen before market or, no, during market hours or or before market hours. And see, this is exactly why I got out. Just simply because I've experienced stuff like this. Is it a news candle? I don't know. It could be. But look at this. This is irregular price action. So just seeing that is like, okay, I need to get out quick. This is when you need to learn how to not be greedy. I've seen this multiple times, just like now, when it goes down a little bit like crazy, and then it'll just snap back up. This is probably gonna keep going down, or just run up. But yeah, it's just this is irregular price action. So I was already in the trade. I go down, and then it's just fluctuating like crazy. It's and then up, and then down, and then so yeah, that's why I'm like, okay, this is probably a news candle or something, or the final push is what I also like to say as well. The final push before whatever's about to come. So yeah, I see that. Take profit as soon as I can. Once I took my profit, um, as we can see, a minute later, prices already came back up. If we take a look at the 15, we see it's a pretty big candle going up. I look at all the other futures as well. Same thing. Up. Yes. Up. RTY. RTY didn't move much. A little bit. But up. Everything's probably going to keep going up. Silver, like I said. Purple box. Look where it's at now. Perfect trade. Perfect entry. But we changed our direction. Well, I changed my direction of the way. God damn it. My sneeze went away. It changed the direction of where I wanted to go. So originally, like I said, I wanted to go longs, but then I was like, you know what? This looks like a short. So yeah, it ended up playing in my favor. So yeah, we got out. We weren't greedy. Got in and out, and like I said, purple box. Literally, I ticked it to the last. I literally bottom ticked it. Like, look at that. It's in my box. It didn't even touch below my box, and then it just shot right back up. By tomorrow morning, it's probably going to be up here, or maybe just consolidate around this area where the news candle happened. Um, I don't care. It does whatever it wants to does. Whatever it wants to do. Whatever it does. Whatever it wants to does. It's not a real thing. So yeah, done for the day. So now I might trade tomorrow. Maybe not, depending on how the market looks. I'm already up 300. No point in me trading. Mainly just greed. You know, like I said, I only want to trade one time. One trade is all I need. I don't need anything more. Nothing less. So, basically, the way I do it is I don't want to trade. I only trade whenever I see a good setup and not a decent one. I only trade when there's a very good setup. Um, so that's basically it. Market's probably just gonna move up from here. Yes, I could take a trade. Like I said, like YM, it's probably up. Yep, up. RTY probably has the best setup since it hasn't moved. Oh, never mind. Um, so yeah. Um, There's no need for me to trade more. Yes, like I said, yes, I can take longs, but why risk it? It's discipline. There's no point in me going for longs when I already made my money in my one trade. There's no need for that. Um, but that's basically it. I'm gonna end off the video here. Enjoy the rest of my 4 hours of before I go to bed. At least I hope 4 hours. Like I said, I always try and go to bed around 10. I end up going to sleep at 11. Like last night, I fell asleep at midnight. And then, yeah, it's yeah, not good. Oh, and look, before I hop off, actually, look at silver. Crazy rejection bar. And like I said earlier, if you replay the video, I don't know where exactly, but in the beginning of the video, you can see that I told you guys this white line, which is why I have this white line here. White line, this is my TP area when it reaches this box in the very beginning of the video. And look what it does. It rejects right off that white line. And this is why I say futures move crazy, because in an options trade, unless something happened with the company, something like this was not going to happen. Unless it was meant to happen. If if that stock was at all-time high, or did a double top at a all-time high off of a news candle or off of something, that's not regular price action, it's just gonna fall down. But usually just regular price action with stocks is something like this. But anyways, I'll get into that another time. There's no need for that. Like I said, I'm already done with trading. This I shouldn't I shouldn't even be talking anymore. So yeah, that's my trade for today's Asia session or London session, whatever session it is. Like I said, I view the market the same. So yeah, I'm done with this session. Done for today. We'll see tomorrow how tomorrow's price action works. So see you guys tomorrow. So later, guys.